Hey guys, so Facefusion version 3 has dropped. Facefusion, of course, is our superior face swapping software that does quite a good job with still images, although really not anywhere comparable to Rope Live when it comes to video. But it does have quite a lot of options here to play with your face enhancers, frame enhancers, all of this good stuff in here that is pretty state-of-the-art stuff. It of course comes with your you can run this on a CPU. It actually doesn't take very long on that, and then your CUDA and your TensorRT. We're going to talk a bit more about these features, but really what makes this app shine is again the ability to really push the limits of what you want to do with your images, so you can really fine-tune your image qualities. They have, when you get into doing videos, they're going to have fast modes, ultra fast modes, slower modes. There's quite a bit to do with that, and what he has done here is that he's added quite a few features here for finding faces. So when you do have multiple people in here, you can be going from left to right, right to left. He's added a gender selection, female or male, and a race selection, which I kind of find hilarious. But so you can actually pinpoint people in the image as well to get the targets. And that's going to become really important with this app, because you really can only target single individuals. So like with this picture here of this Ninja Turtle and Pamela Anderson, you're not going to face swap both of them into an image. You're only going to get to choose one, okay? And then even when you do get the image that you're swapping into, you're really not going to be able to get both. So this really is a one-shot app, whereas again, Rope Live, you can grab as many faces as you want. You're going to be you can do a lot more with Rope Live, but without perhaps the fine-tuning. Again, this is an app that I almost find better to go over and work with Rope Live and then bring it into this app after you've done your heavy work, okay, to do all the fine-tuning, make it look real pretty type stuff. So this is Facefusion. We're going to walk through the manual install. We have a little bit of work ahead of us. It's not a difficult install, but it's got some steps that do go with it, okay? This also, by the way, is a safe for work version. So of course, we have over on the Patreon site, you're going to be able to find our list of available softwares here. And we do have a version over here that's going to allow you to do whatever you want to do without your limitations. So that will just be another option. But we're going to actually march through a manual install, because we all need to learn how to do this stuff in code anyways. Tap, 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 tap. So before we do that, please go ahead and like the channel, share it, send it out to the relatives with your Christmas cards. So, hey, Merry Christmas. Here's this fella. You should go watch his videos. And, you know, do all that. It really helps the community get this out there. The more of us that are doing it, the better it is. So I thank you very much for that. Okay, well, we're going to move on with this. So let's get to it. And we're back, and yo, I went through this whole tutorial, I got it done for you, and then realized I didn't record it. So you're getting the refined second version of this installation. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop over to our internet, yo, and we have to find the repository. So what we are going to do is we're going to just go ahead, type in Facefusion GitHub. Now it's going to bring up this one here. It says the industry leading face thing. Yeah, okay, whatever. We're going to pop this one up. As usual, we're not going to follow the directions here, because we're going to go through the manual, which he does here. Beware this installation. This is where we're going to click. Now I want to point out he does have a Windows installer and a Mac OS installer, but he charges like $25 for them when you can just do this for free. And I do want to show you something here that is important to understand about this. Up here it says license. Let's click on this license. Now, notice it says the MIT license, and it is copyrighted by this fellow Henry Roos. So, the MIT license is a license that allows for the alteration, reselling, or sale, and distribution of software. It's an open source license. So, this software is open source, which means that you can change it, you can sell it, you can give it out to people however you want under the MIT license. Now, the fellow that has developed this, I would not support him if I were you, just because what he has done is he's created this license. He's created it under this license so that he can get people in the open source community into it, but yet he is known for bullying people online who do distribute it and trying to threaten people for using it in an open source manner. And he actually has been reported before for his bullying tactics. So I don't think you should support this guy. Plus, why pay like $20-25 for it when you can literally install it for here, or you can go to someone who's working hard to get you going fast. So you can get it for $10 over on my site, or go find some other hard-working fool who's going to walk you through this as well and help them out. So what we are going to do, however, is we're going to move through this. We're going to click on that button, and it's going to bring us up to installation. Okay. Now, under installation, you can see it says prepare your platform. So you can install it for Linux, Mac, Windows. Okay. Now I have set up installers for both Mac and Windows. If you just want to get going fast and you have a Macintosh, I can get you going fast. I don't have one for Linux. I figure if you're smart enough to be using Linux, you're probably smart enough to figure this out yourself. So we're going to go ahead with the Windows install. Okay, so we're going to click on that. And now here's what it's going to do. This is kind of an interesting step. It has, these are all things that you should already have installed on your machine. It wants to install Git. It wants to install Miniconda. It wants, that's down here, it wants to install FFmpeg. It wants to install the K-Lite codec pack. These are all things that you should already have installed if you've been following any of my tutorials. But, okay, if you don't, you can walk through these. Now, I'm going to tell you a little thing here. We're going to be very careful with Conda. We really don't want to use this command because this can mess stuff up, okay? It's not a good command that he's putting there, but it's fine. What we're going to do, you can copy this. If you don't have Git already installed, go over to your browser, your command terminal, okay? And what you can do is you can see if you've got it installed just by typing the word Git, okay? It should bring up something like this. Git is what we use to download folder structures, entire repositories, okay? So if you don't see this, you don't have it installed properly. So you could just Control-V and you can install it there. Or you can go online. I have videos again about how to do this. Just type git download. And it will bring up the package. You click on Windows, get your 64-bit for Windows, and then download it and install it. Okay, I typically like to install stuff manually, but this actually isn't that big of a deal over here. And this WinGet thing, by the way, is something that Microsoft has given. You should have it if you have Windows 11, and it allows for grabbing. It's just another way of grabbing applications to install on Windows. Okay, so you get that going. You got Git, and like I said, you type Git, it should bring up something like this. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to pop on back over. And, oh, did I click on something? We're going to prepare. Okay. Now, guys, I don't like this. We have to have Conda installed because this is how we're going to do our virtual environments. I don't like doing this because, especially if you already have Miniconda installed, do not use this, okay? You're going to see later on that when I'm showing you some commands, it's going to bring up some junk. Junk output. That is because I ran this. Actually, I knew better, but I was like, oh, let's just go through it and do it. And it conflicts, okay? I don't like doing this. The best way for you to install Miniconda for an AI system, in my opinion, is not this, but rather this. Click on your browser, type Miniconda download. Okay? Click on this, says installing Miniconda. Then you go ahead and click download the exe installer. Okay? What it's going to do is it's going to, let's get rid of this really quick. It's going to pop us up. We just grab this. It's going to ask us where to save it. We just save it to our downloads. Okay? But then what we got to do is we need to go to our downloads folder. Now, when you're installing it, you need to right-click on it, okay, and click Run as Administrator. Very important, or this will fail. Click Next. I agree. Don't worry about this. Click Next. See this shield down here, by the way? That means that's your administrator thing. That's why we have to right-click as administrator. This would not work. Now, I always put everything on this kind of stuff onto my C drive, because later on when you're working with applications, you want easy access to it. And I don't want it in places like program files that has spaces in it. That will cause you problems later on down the road. I want it in a very simple thing that has no blank spaces in it. I put it on my C drive. Okay, now notice I'm going to hit next. It's not going to let me do it because it's not empty. So I'm going to put a false one. I'm not going to install it, but I'm going to just put a false directory here. Notice it's going to bring up this. This is very important. See here it says register Miniconda 3 as a system 3.2.12. Undo it. Okay? You don't want that because you've already got Python installed. If you do this, it will conflict with your existing Python and can cause you all sorts of trouble in the future. Don't do it. No. Okay? So uncheck it. And then you'll click the install, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to install it. Okay, now I'm going to show you the next thing. It'll run through there. It's installed on your C drive. Now go over to here to your Start Window button. Click the Windows key on your keyboard. It's going to pop this bad boy up. Type the word env. Edit the system and variables. Okay. Now system variables are just ways, are the shortcuts for your computer to know where stuff is. So we're going to click on environmental variables. Then we're going to go down here to the bottom, and we're going to click path. And we're going to click edit. Okay, now we're going to add Miniconda to this so that when we use the word conda, it knows where it's at. So you click browse, then you find where you installed it to. In our case, we installed it to the C drive, then we installed it to Miniconda, but then we need this folder called conda bin. This is where our stuff is. So then you click OK, and it's going to create something that looks like that. So then you click OK, you click OK, you click OK, and then now it is done. So, at this point, if you already have your terminal window open, you're going to have to close it and reopen it again. All right, and that will reset everything. Mine's already done, so I don't need to do that. So let's pop back over to here. So there we've installed Miniconda. Now, that is much better than using this command he did here, because again, you're not going to get those options. It's going to set up Python as your 3.12. Okay, it's gonna do stuff that you don't want. Okay, this is the bad command. I don't like it. Okay, so anyway, getting past it, we're gonna move on to ffmpeg. This is a good command. It's just go ahead and install ffmpeg. That has to do with cutting videos, cutting audio, putting stuff back together. How all of these face swapping things do, especially like with videos, is they chop them into like a whole bunch. It's like taking a piece of bread, right, and chopping it into a whole bunch of slices. All right, and then it works with the slices, and then it puts them back together again into one whole thing. And that's what ffmpeg does for us. So you can also download that manually just by typing ffmpeg download. Click on this, then you go find yourself a package. Click on that Windows thing, Windows builds, and then you would just grab this essentials. Once you download it, what you would do is you would just, like we did with the other one, is you would, like we did with Miniconda, just extract it, probably onto your C drive, so it'll be under C ffmpeg. Then you go to your system environment variables. We edit, go down to path, edit, we click browse, find it, add it, same thing. Okay, if that was confusing to you, that's fine. Go ahead and use this command. It's not going to be a problem. And then this last command is my favorite because K-Lite codec pack is very good, and codecs are basically what tell your machine how to read different videos. So like say you download a movie, you got a movie, and it says, oh, I don't have the codecs for it. K-Lite codec is the one that handles that. When we're dealing again with different types of video formats, because we're altering them or doing this, we need the machine to be able to interact with all sorts of different types of stuff. That's what that does. So same thing, you're just going to copy this. You would go back over to your command prompt and just be pasting it. And each one of these, all you got to do is just paste. Oh crap, I don't want to do that. Okay, I canceled it because mine's already installed. But you'd see what it does. It starts to just download it for you. That's great. WinGet is a very cool application that Microsoft has given us so that we can install packages. Okay, yo. All right, let's move this down here. All right, so we have gone ahead and we have set up our platform. Okay, so click this back arrow. We prepared the platform. Now we're going to prepare the environment. So this is where we're going to go ahead and create a virtual environment. This is why we had up here, come on, this Conda thing. Okay, now again, I've already said I don't like that one. You should do it manually, but whatever. Okay, we're going to just ignore this. Conda init is basically, it just, okay, well, here's what you're going to do. We're going to go to our command prompt. If you have installed Conda, what you need to do is type just the word Conda, and we're going to see if this stuff pops up. If this does not pop up, something went wrong. So what we can do is we can type Conda init, okay, so it's saying initialize it, and we're saying initialize everything, and you can hit that, and it just sets it up. Make sure that if it's not set up right, it's initialized. Then we can type Conda again, and it should pop up. If it doesn't, then you didn't get Mini Conda installed properly, and you need to go back through that. Okay, so going back to our browser, we're going to go ahead and create the environment. So let's just go ahead and copy it. I'm going to walk you through each step of this. I'm going to go back here, type CLS to clear my screen, and I'm going to just hit Control V to paste it in there. But I want to show you each one of these. Conda is the application that we're going to use, and so we're executing the program called Conda. We're saying, Conda, I want you to create a virtual environment. Then we're saying, now we're putting this parameter in. We're saying, I want you to create the virtual environment. Now I'm going to tell you a name. That's what this dash dash name is. We're saying, I'm about to tell you a name. What to name it. And then we're saying, the name of the environment is Facefusion. Okay? Now, over here, this Python 3.10, what that's telling us is we're going to actually install a particular version of Python into this. So it doesn't matter. Let's say on my base machine, I'm using Python 3.11. Okay? In the virtual environment, it's going to use Python 3.10. Okay? Not a problem. So we'll go ahead and click this. Mine's going to be already created. So it says, warning, Conda environment already exists. Do you want to remove it? I'm going to click no because it just would take us more time. It'll create it for you the first time, and then you're in there. Now, what we have to do, we can go back to our browser here, and we have to activate the virtual environment. Ain't no good having a virtual environment if you don't activate it. So we're going to type Conda activate Facefusion. Now this is where you're going to see these junk errors I get here. See this warning, overwrite environment variable set in the machine. So that's because we use their stupid command over there. But whatever, it doesn't matter. It still worked. You can see here that we're in the Facefusion environment. If you don't see Facefusion in here, you're not in the virtual environment, and you need to make sure you are, because we're going to install stuff, and you don't want to pollute your system with extra stuff. So we're in here though. We're good. We're good. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. We're going to head on back to the browser. We have prepared the environment. Okay, so we have prepared the platform. We prepared the environment. We have now prepared our hearts. And we are ready to install the accelerator. So what we're going to do, we're going to click on our Windows one. This is where we're going to install our stuff for our GPUs, our graphical processing units. Now, it's giving us three things that we can use here: CUDA, TensorRT, and OpenVINO. This OpenVINO is good news for all you AMD users. This means that you AMD users can rock and roll with this as well. Okay? CUDA and TensorRT are for NVIDIA users, Essentially, the difference being CUDA is a general packet that allows for fast stuff, but kind of on a broad spectrum. TensorRT is more specific and having to do with inference, meaning I'm speaking to a machine, the machine's giving something back. That's inference. Okay, so TensorRT actually can be a little bit faster than CUDA, but the trade-offs with smaller projects are not necessarily that great because TensorRT takes a long time to load. So when we're doing images and stuff like that, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. But here's the thing. We're going to install all of these anyways, okay? Because we're just going to get them in the system, and it's not going to matter. As an NVIDIA users, it doesn't matter that we've installed OpenVINO, okay? Because it's there, we can use it if we want to. Why would we bother, though? As an AMD user, you're going to install all these because just get it done, okay? I mean, you could skip them, I suppose. It ain't going to matter if you use them, they ain't going to work. But this is the one that's going to work. But we just want to get them all in there anyways. That way we have all of our options. So we're going to copy this. We're going to go back to our command prompt. And again, we are in the virtual environment, okay? So we're just going to hit Control V. Again, we're calling Conda. We're calling the virtual environment application. And we're saying, what do we want to do? We want to install something. This Conda Forge : is basically saying use a catalog. So like if you remember when we're using Python, sometimes we use -C, NVIDIA, it's saying use a catalog. This is saying use the Conda Forge catalog, okay? And like again, you're buying from Amazon. I got an Amazon catalog so I can see all the products, okay? Inside of that Conda Forge catalog is an application called CUDA Runtime. You'll notice it's got an equals 12.4.1. And then also we're going to go back to the catalog and we're going to order the CUDA Deep Neural Network version 9.2.1.18. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit enter on that. It's going to load up the thing. It's going to look for it. Conda always takes time. It's notoriously slow. But it's going to go ahead and install it. Okay, now mine I think are already installed. So it's going to go ahead and do that. Now we're going to go to our browser. Let's get our TensorRT. We'll just highlight it. Same thing. We're going to Control V. Now this one's using the Python installer. So pip is the Python package installer. Same, that's the application. We're saying pip, we want you to install something. What do we want you to install? TensorRT. Yo. Now notice it's putting 2 equal signs. So that's a difference between Conda and pip. Conda only requires you to put 1 equals, whereas Tensor requires you to put 2 equals, and that's a computer science thing. The Python one is more accurate because it just means it has double equal means they're not exactly the same. It just means they have the same value. When you use 1 equal sign, it's like saying they're the same thing. So if I said A equals B, well then B is A, okay? And it'd be like saying 1 equals 1. But when I say that when I use 2 equals, I'm saying they're actually 2 separate things, but they just have the same values. If that was confusing, that's fine. It should be. It's confusing. And so anyway, don't worry about it. Just know that with pip, you got to use 2 equals. Okay, then we're going to put in these dashes, which are just parameters, and we're going to say, we want you to install it, but we want you to install it from a particular place, and that particular place being here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and enter. And it's going to go ahead and install this. Okay, so mine, again, yours will take a little while. I've done this a couple times, so it's already done. Now we'll go ahead and click on the browser again. We're going to get this last one for all you AMD people. I love you so much. We're going to Control C, copy it, or hit this copy. Then we're going to pop on back over. Same thing, Conda install, Conda Forge is the catalog, OpenVINO 1 equals, and then that's the version we're going to get. So, my God, there it is. And should take just a second. And there it has done. Okay, so mine says already installed. Yours will install. Okay, so we have done all of the good stuff. Let's go back to our browser. Got a few more steps. Okay. Prepared the platform, prepared the environment, prepared our hearts to install the accelerator. Now we're going to go ahead and actually get the application. So we're going to be using git clone. That's why we had to make sure that git's working. Okay, so you can go back to your command prompt, just type git, and it should bring up this. If it's not, then you got something wrong. Okay, you need to fix it. So I'm going to type CLS to clear the screen, and then we're just going to type this in here. So git is the program we're calling. What do we want to do? We want to clone something. What do we want to clone? This directory. Now, it's going to create a directory called Facefusion. Okay, so I'm in my D drive right now, so wherever you put this is where it's going to create it. Okay, so if you want it in an image folder, you should create an image folder. In fact, I'll show you how to do that. Before we do this, you can type mkdir, and let's just say we'll just create a thing called image. Well, we'll call it image software. Okay, so mkdir means make directory. So we just created a directory called image software. Now we can type cd image software, and that changes directory to have us in there. If we type dir, you'll see there's nothing in it. It's an empty directory. Okay, now let's go ahead and git clone, and what it's going to do is it's going to create in here a folder called Facefusion. So let's hit enter, and download. It's done. Now if we type dir, you'll see we have a folder called Facefusion. We're still in our virtual environment. We type CLS to clear the screen. Now what it wants us to do is it wants us to go into the directory and then install it. So, all right, so first let's just go over here and go cd Facefusion. Okay, now we type dir, you can see we've got all of this stuff here. So we're going to go back up. Now it's the installation. So install the application. Now this is funny. We're gonna be using this file over here, install.py. So this is our installation code that he set up for us. Okay, and we go Python install.py, and then he's got a parameter Onyx runtime. So he's got code in there that looks for this, and this is going to have to do with the particular accelerator that we installed. So notice he's got these brackets here. This is just a placeholder saying put the correct thing here. Okay, we're actually not going to end up putting those brackets there. So, but I'm going to show you what happens. Let's go ahead and copy the whole thing. Go to our command prompt, and let's Control V, and we're going to put this in here even though that's not correct. Okay. Now, notice it's going to throw up an error, but it's going to show us the arguments. It says error argument, invalid choice, and then here are the correct choices. You can go default, CUDA, OpenVINO, or DirectML. We're going to use CUDA. Now, if you're AMD, you're going to use OpenVINO. So, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the up arrow. Okay. We're going to erase all this stuff. And if you were doing AMD, you would type in OpenVINO, but we're doing NVIDIA, so we're going to type CUDA. Easy. Okay. Now it's going to go ahead and install the application for us. And then when this is done, we really only have one more step. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I'm not sure how long this takes. So pause it, and you ain't going to even realize that I was gone. So don't worry, I'll be right back. And we're back. So, okay, go ahead. That took 3 minutes or so. So head back to our browser. Now, it wants us to deactivate our environment and then reactivate it. Okay, so we're going to go back to here, and we're just going to type conda. Oops. We're going to type conda deactivate. Okay, now notice. See, and again, it gave me these stupid errors. That's because I'm running that one bit of code I told you not to run. But notice it's gone. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and redo it. We're going to type conda activate Facefusion. Okay. Now we're back in it. If we try to run the app and we're not in here, it's not going to find anything. So we are actually ready to run this bad boy. So we're going to go down here. It says finally run the command Python facefusion.py run. So let's copy that. Now we're already in the directory, so we'll just paste it in there. Python, of course, is telling us that we want it to run a file call a .py. Py is a Python file, and then we're giving it the command to run. So we're going to click this. Now, it's going to take a second, and then it's going to download the models. Okay, and it's probably going to be about 20 gigabytes or so of models it's going to download. Takes a little bit of time. And we're going to sit here and wait. I want to pause it while there. This is what I wanted you to see. Okay, this is where it starts coming up. So it's going to download all of this. Depending on how fast your internet is, could take forever, could take a little time. I got fast internet, so. Another trick you can do, I'm sure you know this, but if you're downloading this stuff on Wi-Fi, see if you can get your computer close to the router and just plug it directly in, and you'll triple, quadruple, times 10 your speed. So much faster than Wi-Fi. Alright, I think it's done here. Let's see. There it is. Yo, hey. So, now run it on local. So what we got to do is you got to just double click that and then hit Control C. Then we're going to pop over to our browser and paste it in there. And there you go. There it is. Good Lord, that was some working, huh? So we got it done though. All right, well, let's walk through this really quickly here. I'm going to let you figure out a lot of this stuff out. Again, you got your face swapper. That's going to be our main thing. Down here, let's check this out. Execution providers. Check it out. It starts with CPU. Okay. We're going to click on CUDA or TensorRT. Let's show you the difference here, though, between these two. I'm going to click a source. Let's grab that guy, and let's put his face on this. Okay, now you're going to see, okay, so that actually didn't take that long, but it took a few seconds to put a face on there. What we're going to do is we're going to click on this over to CUDA, and we uncheck the other one. Okay, that actually went a lot faster than I thought it would, but I do have a fast machine. So now I'm going to click this one in here, and look at that one, came up even faster. It's going to just pop up. Put my face on the Ninja Turtle there. Okay, so let's look at a few different things. This is the part where Facefusion actually shines, okay? Your face enhancer, you can click on that, and it's actually going to use a restorer to make your face better. Now, you can do this in Rope Live again. Okay, Rope Live is honestly the best one out there. But the nice thing with this, you can actually chain these things. You do a lot of these. I'm not really sure what age modifier is. That's kind of interesting. Maybe we'll play with that here in a second. Frame enhancer is going to be good. Lip syncer is an interesting one. If you get a video of someone talking, you can, I could put this video. I could put the target of myself over here, and then I could get. Can I use a wave? Yeah, I'd get a video of someone else talking, and it would actually make the lips move, kind of. It's not the most fantastic in the world, but you got a lot of stuff here. Okay, again, the main thing keeping in mind is you can set up your CUDA, your TensorRT. If we set up TensorRT, it's going to take a little while to load. Maybe you get a little bit of a bump count. Down here, you can upgrade your output quality. This is really nice. Your output image resolution. So you can actually really put these up there. Of course, it's going to take longer to create the file, typically, but you can really get higher resolution. Now, if you bump this too high, you can actually end up crapping out your machine. So I've made videos before where my machine actually shut off because I was pumping it up so so hard. So let's see, click start. I'm kind of afraid to do it. I'm not going to click start. Oh, there, it changed it for us. But anyway, you could go do this and you can upgrade the quality of this stuff. Okay, now here's the other thing. This really is only a one person at a time thing. I think I might have mentioned that at the beginning of the thing. Let's see, let's put in this picture over here. Let me show you something. I'm going to pause for just a second. Okay, and here we've got a picture of 3 different ladies here. I'm going to go ahead and change the source out to put my own face there just so we can see what it's doing. Okay, so notice we put this on here. It grabs the first one on the left, okay? So you're not going to be able to really put this on. Maybe I could put multiple faces on all of them. There might be a way to do that. I don't know what good that would do you, but you're not going to get 2 faces. You're not going to get 2 different people on a thing. But going down here, we could go face selection order. We could go left to right. Okay, it does that. We could go right to left. Notice it's going to put it over there, okay? Interesting that there's not one for the middle, but we can go top to bottom, and it's going to grab the lady in the middle. Now, let's go ahead and, I guess there's no way to turn that off. Okay, let's, now if we had guys, this is interesting too, if we had guys, and notice I put face gender male, and it doesn't grab anything. So it recognizes that none of those are dudes, okay? And then this one goes back to female, but it's going to grab only that one. Now here's the race selector. So we could click the white girl, okay? It's going to grab the white gal. Let's see, even if it was right to left, yeah, it's still going to grab the white gal. And then we can click the Asian gal, and it's going to find it. Now it does interesting, it doesn't find the black gal, so I'm not sure why, but whatever. You could still get her from going the top to bottom. So that's kind of interesting there. Again, face selector age, so you can, if you're dealing with a picture and you're trying to get, maybe you've got a group of people and you're, I guess this would be kind of handy if you had, like, say 10 people in the photo and you just want the really young one. So you can really hone it down to getting the exact person you want. But again, it's 1-to-1. Okay, Rope Live, you could grab, like, you could put 10 people, 10 different people on 10 different faces. Rope Live really is a better software than this. But this has its place. What I like to do is I like to run stuff through Rope Live to actually create the stuff that I want, and then I bring it into here to fine-tune it. This is a fine-tuning software, okay? This is, I can really get the parts that I want and enhance it, do that kind of stuff. But this is not a good video software. This is probably an excellent single image software. So they've added a whole bunch of different stuff you can play around with. I'm not going to walk you through all of this because, to be honest, I don't really need a lot of this kind of stuff. Occlusion is a nice feature that it actually takes a long time to load on this one. There it didn't so bad, but I've had other times where I'm trying to use it. Occlusion is like, let's say I'm sitting here and I'm face swapping and I've got a can in front of my face. A lot of times what will happen is, oh, there, see how that, like, actually it's showing through? That's a great example. See how the can disappears? If you push occluder, it would actually pop that can right back there. So a lot of times when you get something in front of the face will be coming through. So occluder will pull the face backwards and create things. So that's actually a pretty important one there. But if you want to do video, same thing. All you got to do is grab a video. I don't think that I have a video. Oh, I got this one here. So I could grab this little video. I made this with Cog Studio, by the way. Or I think I made this with the Blender app. But anyway, and you can preview the frames here. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go. Not sure why it's not finding the face. That's interesting. So you can see it's not this is not actually the best video. So let's go undo that conclusion. See if it. Maybe it is changing it, but I don't recognize. Let's grab. Okay, it is. So it's just not doing it a whole lot there. So anyways, you can preview frame. That's so funny. Okay, this is actually pretty cool over here. Here's your output video results. So you can go from ultra fast to very slow. So it'll just how much it works on getting it done. You can updo your video quality. You can do your frames per second and your output video resolution. I did one video with this software that was it actually upscaled the video. Like, it was incredible. But I've also way overdone it with the software, and my machine just shut down. Like, boom! Okay, so you got to be careful with the software. It doesn't keep you from running yourself off a cliff. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how this age modifier works. Let's give that a look real quick. As long as we're here and as long as you got an extra minute, let's give her a go. Let's pause it here for a sec. Okay, so that's not that impressive. It kind of made her look a little chubby, it just kind of fuzzed it. Let's try the younger. Okay, it just softened the face. So that's not that awesome. But you can play with it. I'm sure maybe you could print face enhancer or something like that. Maybe that'd fix it. Yeah, so a little bit. But anyway, so there you go. Again, this application really shines when it comes to single images. That cracks me up. That's so bad. So that's funny. So it really shines when it comes to single images, videos. It's okay. You have the manual install that we walked through. Is a little bit hairy at moments, but it's fine. Again, you can just head on over here to my Patreon. That's patreon.com, CogniBuild, and you can go here for the forehead members. Oh, that's another thing, by the way. This will not do, if you have blood on the face, it's not going to do it. If you get like a swimsuit thing and it's a little skimpy, it's going to block it out. Okay, he's got some pretty rough, not safe for work filters on this, but you can go ahead and get a version that you can do whatever you want over here on my site here, list of available softwares, and you can grab it from there. The manual install will not give you an unleashed version. So that was a lot. I talked a lot and my throat is sore. So on that note, we're going to leave you and have fun with Facefusion. Let me know what kind of stuff you're working on. Send it to me. Send me just the safer work stuff. I don't want to see the other stuff. And as usual, if you got any questions, hit me up. You can find me on GitHub. You can find me on Reddit. I'm Heavy Organization. What is it, 48, I think. You can find me on Patreon, Discord, YouTube. Ask me questions. I'm happy to help you. I really do want you guys to enjoy this stuff and get working with it. So we're going to leave it there. Until later, you guys stay good. And as usual, yo.